and beat you with a crowbar until you go away.
Well, hello out there, everybody. It's Akili.
I'm Justin.
Your friends here at the Matinee Review, and this is a special segment of the Matinee Review. We just wanted to take some time and honor a legend of film, a legend of stage, a legend of life. We learned that we lost James Earl Jones, and so we just wanted to take some time to talk about some moments, some projects that meant a lot to the both of us, because this man's life and the legacy left behind meant a lot to us.
Definitely.
And we wouldn't be the fans that we are without some of the things that he did. So we just wanted to give him his flowers. We've given him his flowers while he was here in life, but let's go ahead and give him some flowers now that he's gone and passed. So we just want to take some time and do that.
Absolutely. First thing that comes to mind when I was a kid, one of those childhood memories, just that flash of that moment. We were at Burbank and Van Nuys down in the San Fernando Valley. And we're in the car, and I'm in the back seat, and I look over, and there's this giant white Cadillac. And in the driver's seat was James Earl Jones, wearing this big old white cowboy hat. And I went, Mom, it's Darth Vader. That was an awesome little moment.
Was he by himself, just chilling?
He was just driving wherever he was going, man.
Was he like thumping some music? Was he like
I
nodding his head?
I just remember seeing Darth Vader wearing a cowboy hat in a big white Cadillac. So one of my cool childhood moments being that close to the man himself who, not only was Darth Vader, but many people in movies that I really, really enjoyed.
Yeah. So. We can segue and we can just talk about the biggest hitter for both of us, him voicing Darth Vader. I remember my mother telling me that, that's a black man voicing that. I'm like, ooh, James Earl Jones. I'm like, had no idea what he actually looked like, I think, until I saw Field of Dreams. Yeah. But based on what it was originally going to sound like, I think that the character is forever changed with the voice. I mean, he didn't do any of the in-suit acting, but that is such an iconic voice through cinema and has been a voice that has been a background through my entire life with the Star Wars lore. Darth Vader being one of my favorite characters and villains of all time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Major hits.
I remember when I was a kid, there was the Star Wars radio drama. And when you're so used to the sound of someone's voice and how a character sounds, all these different things, when you have different people playing the main characters, it's always that weird, like, that's not Darth Vader. They got Brock Peters to do the voice for Darth Vader for the radio drama.
Who is Brock Peters?
Brock Peters is also a fabulous actor that you might remember him from Star Trek The Voyage Home. He's not like the president, but he's the head of Starfleet or something at that point.
Okay.
The guy who's at the point where the message goes out, he's like, get him back.
Yes.
That's Brock Peters.
Okay.
He was also, I think, in Undiscovered Country.
Okay.
So you might want to look him up. You'll see, get a face here. Yeah, so when you hear that voice and you're so used to James Earl Jones, it is a bit of a shock. As a kid, it took a lot of getting used to, but I'm used to both at this point. Brock Peters.
I know Brock Peters.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's been in a lot more. I just can't really think of it right now because all I can think of is James Earl Jones movies. So, yeah.
Yeah, even I see the picture pops up, him in the Star Trek uniform.
Yeah.
I think from the film.
Yeah.
He passed away in 2005.
He did. Well, he was born in, I think, 1920. 27. So
yeah, he was old when we were.
Right. But yeah, James Earl Jones doing Star Wars, doing Darth Vader. I can't think of any other actor ever doing that voice.
Such an epic voice that when you first watch it, and if you don't know, once the mask comes off in Star Wars, you're left with this like,
Huh?
That's the guy? This whole time, the hell of a voice modulation. Like, that's the guy? So,
Right.
just a wonderful booming presence in Darth Vader.
Yeah, well, I mean, like you said, when we take off the mask and it's not him, it's, I don't know, it's hard to not, even when you know that it's supposed to be Anakin Skywalker and all that, it's really hard not to imagine him under the helmet. The reason that I always pictured him as Darth Vader for me was because of the fact that I was a big fan of Field of Dreams. I can watch that movie every day and not get sick of it. There's something about the rhythm of it, and it's also the actors in it, and him being one of them.
Yeah, Field of Dreams will always have a special place in my heart. Being a huge baseball fan, it being a movie about a father and son connecting. You know, my father's the one who introduced me to baseball, and we went on all those baseball trips, and he coached me, all that. And so, and then just being kind of a student in history of the game, knowing who some of the players were, and it's just a wonderful movie. And then, yeah, it's a love letter to baseball, and James Earl Jones has a great monologue in there that's, in a sense, feels like a love letter to baseball inside the movie. I'm sure you could go to baseball stadiums now. Well, they'll play that speech just like before games or in between innings, just to get people like, yeah, let's remember why we're here and let's remember why we love this game. And probably my second favorite use of someone wanting to hit someone with a crowbar.
Yeah.
I think it's
I'm going to beat you with the crowbar.
I think it's Joker.
And you go away.
I'm going to beat you with the crowbar.
Right.
Do you go away?
You can't do that. What are the rules here? There's no rules here.
Yeah. Takes him to a game at Fenway. Yeah. I still want to see that field. You know, it's on the bucket list. To go see that field. I would love to see an actual game there. The MLB does play, I think it was just a game. I think they play a whole series there now. But they actually do live games that count. You know, and
It's the field. Like, it's not like the field, but you could still see the field from there.
Yeah, they still give tours of that. And I'd love to see it.
Oh, man,
Yeah, so Field of Dreams. And again, I'll say every movie that we mention, if you haven't seen it, go see it. If you haven't seen it in a long time, now is the perfect time to go on ahead and check it out. Some of these you might not even heard of. I would like to jump from that baseball movie to a lesser known baseball movie that people might not know. A movie called Bingo Long, Traveling All-Stars, and Motor Kings.
You showed me that one.
I did.
And that was so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Read a book.
W.E.B. Du Bois. We got to change the means of production. Flips his whole mind. Billy D. Williams.
Yeah.
His best friend in that movie. Darth Vader and Lando kind of teaming up. You know,
What have we here?
that's what happens when the deal gets better every time.
That movie is so good.
Richard Pryor shows up. A lot of good cameos. But yeah, a nice movie about Negro League baseball. There aren't a whole lot of Negro League baseball movies out there, really, that don't center around Jackie Robinson, Satchel Paige, you know, things like that. So here's a nice little kind of fictional, historical fiction movie about, you know, barnstorming. And James Earl Jones plays a Josh Gibson, like, heavy-hitting catcher, and it's a really fun movie.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And it's the entire time watching it, the same way you feel about when you're watching the movie Hook. It feels like it could break out into a musical the entire movie. You're happy that it doesn't, but it's still got that uplifting kind of like musical feel to it. And I really loved that movie. That was really fun. It was a good experience. And not knowing anything about it, never hearing anything about it until you're like, what, you haven't seen this? Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I've got it. We're putting it on. Yeah. So it was good. That was good.
Another good father-son movie for me where I'm pretty sure he showed me that movie. If he didn't, it was sitting, he owned it first and it was sitting in his movie collections. One of those like, what is this? And throw it on, and one of those. So just another movie that reminds me of my childhood, my love for baseball, respect to the Negro Leagues, and all that jazz. Yeah. One of my favorite movies of all time, I think it's still my number one favorite movie, a little movie called The Sandlot.
Really? That's your number one at this point?
I think so still.
Wow.
I think so still, only because The Sandlot is something that was like a dream of mine. Growing up playing Little League, it would have been great to have a group of neighborhood kids that were just like, yo, let's just meet up. And there's not even a team that you play against. They go out there and they just practice. When I was enjoying playing baseball then, where every place it looked like it had like maybe like a football field or a basketball court, it's hard to get like 9 people together and play it like, oh, let's just get together and just practice some baseball. So the Sandlot always captured my imagination because it's like, here are these dudes that just get together and just play baseball all day. Like,
Right.
Fuck, that sounds amazing. That'd be great.
Right.
Like, and then they're just hanging afterward. And like those are your boys. And then like you're just going and playing baseball. And then you go home, whatever, you go to school, then you go play baseball. What are you doing on weekends? We're playing baseball. So while he doesn't have a big part in the movie, that was another early version of like seeing James Earl Jones, knowing that he was voicing Darth Vader, and then just seeing like, oh, he's in. That's what he looks like, and
right.
There he is. There's the voice, the face that goes with the voice, and I know him. And so his character at the end, for those who haven't seen The Sandlot, long story short, these kids hit a ball.
Spoiler warning.
Yeah, these kids hit a ball signed by Babe Ruth over a fence, and they're trying to get the ball back, but over the fence is this big dog that is eating people, and it's this big crazy thing, and you can't go and knock on the door because the guy who lives there, Mr. Myrtle, is the meanest old man who ever lived.
Ever.
Super spoiler alert. Turns out, one of the best lines in the movie, they have all these, they go through all these things to try to get the ball, and it's this hassle. And
they're hanging over doing Mission Impossible like by rope,
they're setting
and
up erector sets and catapults, and it's
so much.
You see why it's what I'm like. It's
yes,
I get
it. I get it. I just didn't know that it was like up there at your top. I get it.
Oh yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen that. I'd really like to go back and watch that one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then so he's like, let me see the ball. He smells it because spoiler, he's blind because he got hit in the head playing baseball because he knew Babe Ruth. This being James Earl Jones' character, Mr. Myrtle. And he goes, why didn't you just knock on the door? I'd have gotten it for you. Go ahead, Scott. We got the ball
just
back,
the way he
didn't
says
we?
it, too. It's just like,
that's because he's
now.
like, y'all the ones making all that
Right,
racket. So
yeah.
he's hearing all this nonsense like, okay, y'all were doing this for a ball. Especially one signed by Babe Ruth. Like, yeah, knock on the door and tell me that. I'll get that ball for you. That's easy. I like this. I wish it. What's up with the ball? Like, you're in trouble, aren't you? That ball's signed by Babe Ruth. I take that back. You're not in trouble. You're dead where you stand.
You're dead where you stand, right?
That's so cool. Just, no, sir, that ball was actually signed by Babe Ruth. And so is this one with the rest of the 1927 Yankees.
Right.
like hearing that, like, I remember for the first time, you're just like, no way. That's amazing. And then it was like, you come by and talk baseball with me once a week, and it would call even like, I get to play baseball every day with these kids, and then I get to go and hang with your mans and talk baseball. Like, what?
Right.
This is what heaven looks like. So yeah, Sandlot, big for me. Loved that it was James Earl Jones in that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that he's a part of that.
Yeah.
For me.
Right. There was a movie that I always watched with my grandma. Always a really fun one. Even as a kid, it always shocked me when you first hear his voice over the phone. It's a movie called Sneakers. Robert Redford, Dan Aykroyd. Showed me that movie. Did I show you that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. It also had River Phoenix and, Ben Kingsley. Mm-hmm. Man, that cast is unbelievable. He ends up showing up at the end of the movie. And it's really...
I did watch that scene. Take it right when they're asking for stuff.
Yeah.
I do like that. No,
yeah. I just watched it today. Like, I was just one of those where I just put it on. I was like, I got to put this scene on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just... He's when they're going through the list of things that I want a Winnebago.
Yeah.
It's like, we're not a car dealership, pal. It's like...
Burgundy interior.
Right. And then when
and Tahiti.
Tahiti is not in Europe.
I'm Tahiti.
Right, what do you say? Sure, when we get geography lessons and you can complain about it until this man goes to Tahiti. Fine, Tahiti.
That's right, Tahiti.
Oh, man.
And River Phoenix with the smooth.
Oh, yeah. It's like, what do you
number.
want? Yeah. It's like the young lady with the Uzi. Is she single?
Can you set up a... No,
No.
not a chaperone.
It's like, what it was like, you can chaperone. No! The look
we don't do that sort of thing.
when Robert Redford, when he gets the no, like right to his face, the James Earl Jones, like booming no, he literally turns and goes, whoa. Just look, holy hell.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot. I was talking to the voice.
I was talking to him. The man.
You can ask for anything, and you want my phone number?
Yeah. She just gives it out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 415.
That's the move.
Yeah.
What you talking about?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Cats is getting trips in Winnebago. I was like, I just want the digits.
Right.
Hello.
I'm Carl. And she's like, I'm Beth. And he's like, I'm going to be sick. James Earl Jones, best, can deliver any line. And it would have been, I mean, the man in a commercial was able to say, totes my goats. And it was the coolest thing you could hear at that point.
He could captivate you by saying, "This is CNN."
This is CNN. Yep. Yep. He was the first celebrity guest on Sesame Street.
Dig.
I know that he did the narration for Reading Rainbow. And according to the documentary that I just watched on Reading Rainbow, they were talking about how when it was his time to come in and read, he came in and he was like, I am so sorry. I cannot do this today. I want to be better prepared. I want this to be right. I just don't feel like I have it right now. Can we do this tomorrow? And you can take whatever you were going to pay me and donate it. And they were just blown away by that. And he came in.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Yeah,
yes,
came
absolutely.
in. And he killed it as he did, as he would. So
Yeah, somebody like that tells you they're not prepared. Can they come back tomorrow? I feel like you give them 24 hours. That's fine. Yeah, great. Yeah.
And the fact that he said, if you want, go ahead and take my pay and donate it.
Right.
It's like, that's how much I want to do this. And I just want it to be right. Yeah. It's too cool. When I heard that, I was like, man, what a boss. What an absolute boss.
Speaking of being a boss, how about being a king?
Oh, yeah. The king of Zamunda.
It's good to be the king. King Jaffe Joffa.
I was wondering if you had sex with your bathers. I know I do.
I tied my shoelaces once. It's an
Overrated experience.
Bruh. So,
Let them wait.
I'm talking to
Talk to my son.
You're finally getting along. You got the bro hopping like a goddamn orangutan. Talk about you're good.
So, you want to sow your royal oats.
Right.
Man, I was such a fan of that movie as a kid. And I should not have been such a fan of that movie as a kid because I was, 7, 8,
Titties
watching
show
that
up
movie.
within the first 10 minutes.
Oh my God!
And nice titties too.
Your royal penis is clean, Your Highness.
That's the line that happens there. And
Right.
You just kind of go, wait.
That
is
scene-
this kind of thing possible as an adult? Like you can do this?
I will tell you right there.
Wait a minute.
That scene is ingrained in my head.
That scene is ingrained in lots of people's.
My God.
Yeah. Love it. King Jaffe Joffer, though, in Coming to America. Coming to America is another movie that's just, again, being too young to have seen, but in that kind of time with those VHSs around, and you get that hot time that was Eddie Murphy. I remember watching Trading Places and Coming to America back to back
all the time,
almost as if it was like a sequel.
Correct,
as if they belonged together. And then
because they did,
right? Turns out
they did.
Once I made and it's just always that part of like them the two old dudes, and I remember being younger, just going like, oh, they put the two dudes in the movie from the last film
because they even called him Mortimer.
And then once you make the connection, like, oh, that's the same universe.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Too good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when you first watched Coming to America, and even later in life, it didn't dawn on me that he was an evil dictator type king in that first one at all. Like I
Not
just
at all.
thought,
No.
right. So when in the second one they kind of dropped like, oh no, he's like a warlord kind of thing. I was like,
Hated it.
oh,
Hated it.
oh.
Didn't seem
I just
like
thought
he
was like a stern king father. Like I didn't.
Yeah, I thought he was a stern king father type, and at the same time, I thought it was kind of the way that they made Zamunda sound. They made it sound like fucking Wakanda. I didn't see him
Facts.
as this, like they made it like evil warlord and all that jazz.
I mean, even in hindsight, he comes to America, like New York, no problem. You'd think
evil
hey,
warlord's going to come to fucking New York
you think hey,
with police escort.
Your man's is in
No.
town. Go get him.
Yeah.
Like
No. So when I didn't,
that was weird.
I was not a fan of the second movie at all, and it wasn't just because of the fact that it wasn't rated R. That was part of my gripe about that movie.
Yes.
Because of the fact that you said before at one point, like, if you have to make it rated R, then it just kind of...
For language, but like just so you can drop language. Not necessarily for the content that you're putting in it. Like
Right.
if it's just so you can drop some F-bombs and stuff, then...
But I have to say, it's the F-bombs and everything in Coming to America are 100% appropriate and necessary. With the fact that when he comes in, what does dumb fuck mean? Shit like that. Mm-hmm. So when you get into the second one, and there is nothing like that. When you're opening up, like you said, like the first 5 minutes of that movie, and you've got that gorgeous woman who, yes, is topless at that moment, talking about how she had just cleaned his junk. It's kind of hard to go from that to PG-13. It just seems like it was. How do we get as many people as possible to watch this? But it wasn't necessary because it didn't even get released into theaters.
Having just seen Beetlejuice, I think it falls in that same row where it's like, if fans come and see Coming to America, that's awesome. But some of our kids and some of these people can't really watch the first Coming to America. That's kind of raunchy. And so we want to make a movie that everybody and their families can come and see and this and that. And that's why they make it more about family and coming together. And it's also about two different stories where it's like, you got these two dudes. One dude's coming to America to find a wife.
Right.
This one here's the thing. I don't even remember the full plot of Coming to America 2 because it's one of those like, well, this
I watched it once and I'm done.
And then
with
this
it, yeah.
happens, and then this happens, and it's also this happening and this happening. And it's like, oh, okay, what's that first one about? Homie dude's going to America to find a wife.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of thinking about, I'll save for when we kind of talk about Beetlejuice, but I was thinking about those lines of Beetlejuice where like, what's the first movie about? Couple dies. They're in their house. People move into their house. They're trying to get them out of the house. They hire some demon to try to get them out of the house. Things don't go real well.
Shouldn't hire the demon.
Hire the demon. Now demon wants out.
And
the demon.
Wants the child. Yeah.
Done. What's this second movie about? Oh, child from the first one has a child of her own. Child of her own gets and needs this now
Spoiler warning.
to help them for this. Well, like I said, we'll save this for Beetlejuice, but I'm putting this on the main, like, and then like it turned from like, here's your simple story to like, here's this on top of this problem on top of this problem. So you're just like, oh, okay.
The entire movie, I was kind of sitting there
now,
going like, I'm just waiting for Michael Keaton scenes. That was the whole movie for me. I did not really. It was Michael Keaton scenes and then
Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah, that she was.
I have to watch Schitt's Creek now. She gave me the ultimate reminder. Like, I have to watch her cook.
She was the most. What's the word?
Best carryover from the first movie.
She was the best carryover for the. She was the one who stayed true to her character.
Yes. I agree.
Even Beetlejuice seemed different. Why are we talking about this right now?
Oh.
Okay. You did this to me.
I did.
You did this to me.
Oh, no.
You hit it.
Coming to America, though. Good one. But not the first time, or some would say not the best time, we'd see or hear James Earl Jones as a king.
No.
Because, oh boy, let me tell you, one of the biggest animated movies of my life, and probably most people my age's life, is a little joint called The Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
A little joint. Just one of the most talked about movies, I think, of all time.
I remember seeing it in the theaters.
Yeah. The Lion King is almost a perfect movie. And I say almost because I don't think there is a such thing as a perfect movie, because I don't think there should be. That's just my little stupid opinion. But it's almost a perfect movie.
Yeah.
The story is sad.
Well, it's Disney.
Such a sad
What do you
story.
think's going to happen with the Disney movie, man? It's got to be sad.
Man, when I cried, I didn't cry often in theaters. I cried in that theater. Punk ass Scar, man, just long live the king. Like,
Oh, dude, no.
And
Yeah.
this shadow comes over his face. And it's just, I watch it now, and that's still chilling. Mm-hmm. Still a chilling scene.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Irons
With
is
the
so
with the
good.
claws just
Yes.
like buried deep into the
How he's
his
just
hand.
still watching him.
Yeah.
Creepy. And then just the pounce onto him, that slow smile, and just like that whole fucking, it's so sad. And just get up, and he comes out the fucking mist. Oh, Lion King. Lion King's great. One of the reasons why Lion King is so great is because Mufasa is voiced by James Earl Jones, and if you don't like his fathering in Star Wars, or if you don't like his fathering in Coming to America, he turns into fucking Africa's favorite dad in this one. He's awesome. Just full of, I feel like everything he says is so regal, and almost everything out of his mouth is a lesson. And it's awesome. Down to him teaching him how to pounce. And, it's fun because he's like, Zazu, we got the bird. Everything the light touches, and one day all this will be yours. And then he sees him in the sky, and then you cry again because it's remember who you are. You are my son, the one true king. Like, Lion King.
So good. And he did it again.
Came back for the
live action?
CGI action one.
Yeah, didn't see it.
I saw it. I
I started watching it and I just couldn't do that. Or that was the Jungle Book. I can't remember which one.
Chiwetel Ejiofor Scar. Donald Glover played Simba.
That's right. Donald Glover was in that movie, wasn't he?
Donald Glover is in that movie. Beyonce's in that movie. I mean, it's very well cast. I just was kind of against it being made. And you know how I am about movies where I'm like, I don't think this really got made. So I think I watched it when it was just on in the background.
I don't know if I've watched.
Maybe I haven't seen this movie.
I'm trying to think if I have seen any of the live action remakes. No, I don't. Dang. I can't think of any other Disney.
There's a lot of people in this movie.
Wow.
They paid a lot of people. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Anyway, he does come back for The Lion King.
Yeah.
The last movie I have on my list is a nice little unknown movie that I would love to talk about one day, because since we are a podcast that does talk about all things, entertainment, comic books, things like that, there is a comic book movie that I think hasn't been talked about or really celebrated outside a certain community that I think that, should be kind of pushed forward, and I will do everything that I can to help push it to the mainstream. It's a movie called Meteor Man.
Yeah.
Meteor Man, a Robert Townsend film. A lot of wonderful actors in this film as well. It's the first appearance that I remember seeing a young Don Cheadle in.
God, I gotta go back and watch
Bill
that.
Cosby's in this film. Chris Tucker's,
Yes, he is.
I think, first movie appearance. Eddie Griffin's in this movie. James Earl Jones shows up. Yeah, I'd have to look at the actual cast. Those are people I remember off the top of my head. But not to spoil it, because again, I think I want to talk about it, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. So I will just tell you the plot. There is a meteor that hits Earth. I believe it's in, I don't know if it happens in the neighborhood. Anyway, it hits, and it's found by this school teacher who touches it and gains powers and uses them to try to help bring down the kind of drug lords, crime lords that are in his community.
Neighborhood Syndicate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very funny, very great film. Has a great line that just always buries in my brain. There's a town meeting. People are figuring out what to do. But, Robert Townsend character, he comes in, he just goes, how can you complain when you do nothing? I remember he stops, he repeats it. How can you complain when you do nothing? Yeah, God damn it.
Yeah.
By the way, little small segue. We're not going to get real deep into it, but go vote. God damn it.
Yeah.
How can you complain when you do nothing? Go vote.
Now all I could think of is George Carlin. I say it's different. I say if I don't vote, I have every right to complain because I didn't fuck it up like they did.
This is not my problem.
This is not my problem.
You're
That's
the
right.
problem.
You did this. I didn't. You did this. Yeah. Paraphrasing slightly, but yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
It's always the counter to that as well.
Right.
It's like, but on the other hand. Yeah, and James Earl Jones plays this real fun dude on the block. He's got a record collection, and he's always hanging out the window, just kind of shooting the shit with everybody. And again, I don't want to spoil too much. Great person that pops up in this movie of just great majority black actors, man. So it's a real fun film. Good comic book movie.
What I do remember of that, it does have that, and those movies of the, I think that was mid-90s?
I think so.
Like early mid-90s?
Early 90s,
yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Where you had the Universal backlot being used a lot and sets being used a lot.
For sure.
For
sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think it was early. It's definitely early to mid-90s.
Let's say like 92. Yeah, 93.
93, yep. Yeah. I remember renting that movie.
I remember also being real attached to that film because it takes place, I believe, in Washington, D.C., and that's where my father's from. So I remember having kind of an attachment to that as well because I have an attachment to him. And, just honestly, one of the very first black comic book heroes that I remember growing up watching. Yeah. Honestly. I don't own that film. I'm going to find it and get it because, we need to watch it and talk about it. Definitely. Fun stuff.
Definitely. He was in Conan playing Thulsa Doom, Snake King. Mm-hmm. He was badass in everything that he did.
Shout out to my boy, Ken Lester. He is the one who gave me a big appreciation for Conan. That's one of his jams. In fact, we were, and still might, we're going to make a concept album about Conan.
No?
We have a song called Crom. All the shit. Like, it was, yeah.
That sounds like a great idea.
So his appearance as Tulsa Doom, I remember him for, you should watch Conan. James Earl Jones shows up. His character's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is cool.
Yeah.
One thing I did forget that he did, I forgot that he narrated the beginning to Judge Dredd.
Really? I feel like he's narrated a couple of things other than that.
Oh, no, I'm sure he had, but I forgot Judge Dredd in particular. I mean, there's others that I'm sure he's done.
Stallone
for sure,
one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. In the very first beginning, that explains how the Earth got to be what it was. It's James Earl Jones.
Probably the best part of that movie.
Oh, the Stallone one?
Yeah.
That's a bit harsh.
And?
I am the law.
Law.
Some of Armand Desante's finest.
The movie was terrible. I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize to me. I didn't make it.
Well, I know you did. Just in case you enjoy it.
I like Carl Urban's better.
Absolutely.
That's the one I own. That one's much better.
It should have had a sequel. It still should. Why they haven't, I don't know why. Again, we're going off topic. Not completely, but yeah.
Now I was like, I wonder what they would make a sequel. Like, why haven't they? Why wouldn't they?
Just, it didn't do well. Interest. They were trying to do it during the whole 3D boom.
TV show it, give it to a streaming service.
Yeah, done.
Yeah. And just
give it to Amazon.
Episodes where he's just going out and judging people. And then you have an overlying problem who's crime lord did. Easy. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Don't need the psychic thing.
And then if they don't like it, you got your one season out of it. Whatever.
Yeah, get scary with it. Get the freaking, I don't know, whatever the demon dread thing was in the comics.
Yeah.
That green guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we watched a clip of him doing a scene from Fences.
I don't know if that was an entire play or if that was just for an award ceremony or something.
I think that was for he was doing a scene for, I think it was a collection of scenes.
That's always been one of my favorite scenes to watch.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful. My father, I've mentioned this before, my father got to see, Denzel did the movie, but he got to see Denzel do that on the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And James Earl Jones was big on the stage and doing a little bit of reading. I know that I didn't want to, go through his whole kind of life and all that. Just wanted to throw out some things, but I do know that he had a whole huge life on the stage. It's the Great White Hype. He started off doing that on the stage. And then when they adapted for the film, that's why they asked him, because they're like, well, you're the guy. Come and be the guy for the film.
Right.
He did Shakespeare in the Park. So I can, I'm sure he never had a problem being heard. Never a time when it's like, "Hey, what?
No,
It's hard to hear."
No,
So you could hear
projecting was never
away.
one of his weaknesses. That man could project.
Yeah.
As I said to Dylan at Fair, I said, you are the loudest person on that stage, guaranteed. And you also know that when you turn your head away from the audience, you need to be louder. Because when you're doing that, you're no longer projecting towards them. So you have to be louder. And you do that every time. And James Earl Jones, I'm sure, just like I said, he made Robert Redford turn Jesus. Like that was, powerful. So yeah. And that projecting's not his weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember, if I may, when it comes to stage, my mom had got me tickets to see John Williams at the Hollywood Bowl for my birthday at one point.
Composer of Star Wars theme.
Yes.
And many others.
Yes, like all of them.
Yeah. Right.
Composer of Star Wars. I don't mean all of them, but I do mean
composer of Star Wars.
All of them.
He is the music of Star Wars.
Star Wars, absolutely. Indiana Jones, Harry Potter. I mean, we can just keep...
It's Spielberg's guy for sure.
Jaws,
He's
E.T.
a couple of people's guy. Yeah,
John Williams. We can keep going. I mean, he did it all. He did TV shows. He did, I mean, good God. Guy's been doing it, he's 92, 93 now.
He did the music for Home Alone.
He did.
Yeah. That's why.
Did the music for Hook.
That's why sometimes, that's why sometimes all that stuff just kind of blends, especially when you're listening to, I'm pretty sure Harry Potter's on his list too. Is he Harry Potter?
Yeah,
him too?
Yeah, I said Harry Potter.
So yeah, when you hear some of that stuff, he's Jurassic Park too, right?
Jurassic Park, Born on the 4th of July, Schindler's List. Man, he did it all.
One of the composers of your child. Anyway, not to cut
no
your
worries,
story off.
No worries. It's part of the story. But when we went, I was just jazzed to be able to go and not only hear the...
You said this was at the Hollywood Bowl?
Hollywood Bowl, yeah.
Is that one of those joints you're listening to the symphony and then they play the movie on the screen?
Well, they can if they want, but I mean...
You just
having the LA Philharmonic there and James Earl Jones, conducting. I mean, not John Williams conducting. And
I was about to say, damn.
Right, yeah, James Earl Jones conducts. I didn't know if you knew that. He was also conductor.
You had that VIP show.
Right.
Dang.
Well, technically, I kind of did because I was happy to go and just hear John Williams talk about music and then play the music that he, that I always
so it wasn't
just
just he just didn't go through it like set list. He actually kind of spoke. And...
Oh yeah, no, he talked. He was
cool.
like, he'd turn around and talk about, when I was working on Harry Potter or when I was doing this,
wow.
Yeah.
You got some tidbits and stuff
yeah,
too. That's
absolutely.
Cool. That's
absolutely.
Very cool.
He made it fun.
That's very cool.
And
is he British?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard him talk.
Yeah, no worries.
I don't think I've ever heard an interview or anything.
Yeah. When he went through the Star Wars point, because I was hyped about hearing Star Wars. I was hyped about hearing Superman. He did Superman. Like one of my all-time, top 3 movies. He did my favorite soundtrack for Star Wars, Superman, Indiana Jones. Get the fuck out of here. The man is a legend. He got to the Star Wars point of the show, and he said, for this next segment, I would like to bring out a very close friend of mine. Everybody please welcome Mr. James Earl Jones. And James Earl Jones walks out onto the stage, and he goes to a podium, and then, everybody's cheering like mad. And then it gets really quiet. And then all of a sudden you just hear, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And then the music starts, and I just lost my shit. I mean, the voice of Darth Vader literally saying the first thing you see when it comes to Star Wars, other than 20th Century Fox. Right. And Lucasfilm Limited. But I digress.
Wonderful night.
He was so, and he went through this. Memories. He went through this whole segment about Anakin Skywalker and talking about. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he probably did the same script that Ian McDiarmid did for that CD for Revenge of the Sith that came with the DVD that had the music videos on it.
Oh, I don't know nothing about that.
No, I got to show you that.
Yeah.
Ian McDiarmid doing a whole narration about Star Wars from the beginning to end. It was great.
Yeah, no, I don't know nothing about that.
James Earl Jones did this whole narration about Anakin Skywalker and Padme and all this different stuff, and it was really cool.
Nah, it sounds cool.
It was really fun. My mom did her best to make sure that I didn't go through the brochure because it was just going to give it away and everything. Sure. Yeah. But the entire time he did not play Superman. And then at the end, He walks off stage. And then, encore, coming back on stage. And then Superman came on.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
The best night ever. I was so jazzed, man. Just, yeah.
Gotta be one of those ones where you're he's walking off stage, you're just clapping. It's like, did you enjoy it? Like, yeah.
No, I was clapping. I said,
Yeah.
He didn't play Superman.
Yeah.
I was saying to my mom, I was literally like, I had that look of slight disappointment. Like,
Yeah.
how could you not? You played everything else. You played E.T. You played everything else tonight.
Right.
How could you not? And I'm clapping my hands. I'm like, Mom, I'm sorry. I had a great time.
Yep,
I'm glad. And I'm a little disappointed. And then all of a sudden he just starts walking back out. My mom just looked at me like, I'm like, yeah,
right.
and then all of a sudden he just tap, 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 starts it up, and there it goes. Yeah.
That's got to be a. It's a trumpet player. It's just like, it's my moment.
Yeah.
Like, don't fuck this up.
Right.
Like, this is it.
No, damn it.
He's getting his shoulders rubbed. Like, this is it, bro. Like, you're the man. Like, I got it. I got it. Give me my special trumpet. Give me the good one, man. The good one, man. Yeah.
Right.
That's a cool night.
Absolutely messes it up. Yeah, it was. It was really
a cool
fun.
night.
It was really fun.
I think about, they just recently redid Lion King, and Jeremy Irons came out and did like Be Prepared and all that stuff. It's like, that's fire. That's cool.
Yeah, it was good.
I like when they do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have much else that really rings out. I do know that I text my father. I don't text my father about many deaths, but this one I was sure. I was just like, hey, James Earl Jones died. And he said, big loss. R.I.P.
Yeah.
J.E.J. So
yeah.
That's
one of the greatest actors and voices of our time.
Instantly recognizable by the voice. It's one of those iconic voices. It's hard to truly replicate. People can get the cadence down an awful lot. It's cadence, pattern, but getting
that you can't go to that tone.
Yeah.
No matter who you are voice actor wise, unless you are born with that set of vocal cords, until we find somebody else who is maybe not an actor who can just come in and just sound exactly like him, who hasn't maybe gotten into it yet. I don't know. No, it's a very unique voice that'll forever be on a pedestal. Forever be on a pedestal. Mount Olympus pedestal.
For sure. All the movies that we talked about, if you haven't seen them, give them a try. If it's been a while since you've seen them, now's the perfect time to dust some DVDs off, go through some streaming services, because I'm sure they're going to put up a whole...
Oh, yeah. No, we just talked about a drop in the ocean.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about everything that he did.
Correct.
We didn't talk about the fact that the man had a stutter that he struggled with even while doing all these movies that he did.
Speaking of which, funny, I'm glad you mentioned that, because we get to talk about... I'd forgotten about that scene that you showed me with him and Robin Williams.
Robin Williams, yeah.
The movie's called Angriest Man in Brooklyn, right? I'd totally forgotten about that scene till you showed me. And James Earl Jones has a stutter in that movie. Yeah. So it's funny.
Yeah.
Angriest Man in Brooklyn, Robin Williams is already an angry person, and then finds out he's going to have... Which one bursts? Aneurysm or embolism? Which one bursts?
I think it's embolism. Yeah.
He finds out he's got a timed embolism or something in his head. And then go. Angriest Man in Brooklyn.
Damn.
I sat and watched it randomly one day. Not that I didn't like it or dislike it, but just a movie where I watched it and I was like, okay, great Robin Williams performance, but I was like, okay.
There's a lot of his later stuff that I didn't watch. I have one that I still haven't brought myself to watch. When he died, that one, had we had this podcast at the time, we would have been doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even watched it.
It's still not too late. We can pick a birthday or a anniversary of a movie or something, and then do it, man.
Yeah. Do the Popeye anniversary.
A lot of stuff that we can, we go back and do because we didn't have a podcast then. Right. And some stuff we weren't even friends in. So it's like, hey, let's talk about this now. So boom.
Damn right.
There we are.
Damn right.
There we are.
So yes, that was us giving our thoughts and paying tribute to somebody who is very important in our lives. Probably very important in many people's lives. If you're listening to this right now, probably very important in your life. So All I can say is thank you for everything that you have done. You will be missed, but at the same time, you will still be in not only many of people's homes, but in many of people's hearts.
He's truly one with the Force now.
Absolutely.
Truly one with the Force now.
I think that if you haven't seen the movie, the final scene that you watch James Earl Jones in Field of Dreams is probably perfect to think about. And if you have seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
It is one of my favorite scenes in movie history. So, yeah. Yep.
Well, we want to thank you. There's going to be a lot of tributes, remembrances, shout outs, and things like that you're going to be able to listen to and watch and view. We are humbled and honored and grateful that you took the time to listen to our thoughts about a very wonderful man, wonderful actor, and a genuine soul. James Earl Jones, R.I.P. You will be missed and remembered forever.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks again for stopping by our little special segment of the Matinee Review. I am Akili.
I am Justin.
And we're going to see y'all on the next one.
Take care, folks.
Fuck Scar. Piece of shit.
Asshole.
Jeremy Irons is dope, though.
Yeah, he is.